Right. Hello everyone, welcome to round 5 of OTLR. I am joined by Lanky once again, which could be a very wet race in the Down Under, which I'm excited for. We shall see. Here is the track map, 14 turns, pole for Division 2, I imagine low 16s, high 15s, possibly even quicker by some of the drivers up the front, like some of the two Red Bulls and Nobody Cares in the Aston Martin. Speaking of it being really close, here is the driver standings. It's really close between the two Red Bulls, but they do have some catching up to do. Nobody Cares, who sits on 88 points. However, within the team standings, Red Bull are the ones on top. Aston Martin, he's had a few teammates over the season. So far, Somebody Cares being the only one to really be at the top and try and get the points for Aston Martin. His teammate isn't in the lobby yet, but hopefully he will join soon and then try and do something to respond to the kind of a big margin that they have over the Aston Martin team. Lanky, your predictions for this race? It's gonna be wet or is it gonna be dry? I haven't clicked into the game yet, so I don't know.
Um, well, quali's dry.
Oh, quality. Okay.
Uh, um, race. We haven't had a wet one yet. I don't think
We
have
had
we like
no Hungary.
race wise.
Oh,
Oh,
race
have
wise,
you?
yeah, yeah, race
Yeah,
wise, yeah.
race wise, we haven't. So yeah, I'll say I'll go with that. The today we'll have the wet one, and we'll see what happens.
Speaking of today, it is Melbourne. Next week is Silverstone, which is going to be a pretty difficult one for this track. Last time it was at Silverstone in Division 2. Um, what was it? Ty Clear actually got the win, so maybe he can do that again next week. RS Salguero needs an invite. Then after Silverstone, we
Yep.
have now got a break. I haven't actually updated the calendar, but we have got a break from Silverstone to Monza since there is a delay in the new F126 DLC. Which, if there's a delay, they better be making some improvements to what is this game.
Yeah, it better be for a good reason, and
Yeah. Right, as we actually got a subscriber, Ricciardo. Ricciardo. How do I say that? Yeah, Ricciardo. Thanks for the 8 months subbed. Appreciate that. Right, who is the first one out on track? It's looking like a V-carb, and it's the V-carb of Nicholas. He has been doing well to be at the front of the pack in the last few races, just hasn't done well enough to keep it consistent and try and get some podiums. Hopefully he can have a good race here. I feel like Australia is one of those tracks where it's pretty easy to make overtakes and it's pretty like easy on the drivers. There's no really hard moments. Maybe in sector 1 and then that really fast chicane in sector 2 to 3. That could be a bit
Yeah,
difficult. But
that's my worst bit. 9 and 10 in it.
yeah.
The chicane.
Yeah. So what do we think the provisional bank lap will be, or bank lap for Nicholas? Do we think it will be into the 15s or do you think maybe mid 16s? As he's actually validated
Mm,
already, so it does not seem to matter.
yeah.
Nobody
None of the
cares.
above.
Yeah, Nobody Cares is currently right behind, second person to go and set a valid lap to see what he can do. Jezza, Snowbody, and Griffin top 3 in quali. That is Ricky's prediction in chat. If it comes to light, we shall see. Is that the order of like pole to the P3? But a 26-2 for sector 1. Somebody Cares is already off to a good start. Hopefully he can maintain it coming through the rest of this laps. Very fast chicane here. Let's see how brave he is coming into the corner. Could be make or break. A 43.4. He is on for a flying lap. Does well not to invalidate there. Lost the Riz just a tiny bit. It's definitely going to lose some time there. But so far looking like a really strong lap from Nobody Cares. I imagine it will be definitely into the 15s. All depending on sector 3. It does well not to invalidate there. That is another corner where people can get caught off guard and also spin here as he comes towards the final corner now. With foot to the floor, DRS open, pushing all the ERS he has left, crosses the line. It's going to be a 15.8. Good from him, pretty much what I was expecting if I was being honest. Maybe a bit quicker. Ash has invalidated his first run. Ty Clear in P P2 might have made some mistakes along the way. Griffin goes P2 for now, slower than Nobody Cares by quite a big margin. Who is next? Is it Pipe Tech? No, it is Alberta. No. Nicholas crosses the line. That lap was invalidated, so that won't count. Vengeance Gamer goes P3, 17.3. So far, the times on quali seem to be massively split. Istanbulin goes P3. Jezza invalidated his lap, so that will be his run over. What can the V-Carb of Kiki do? He's just starting his lap, I believe. RSL Gero needs an invite.
Well, I have
As
sent him
you
one already, so
I'm not
yeah,
sure then.
I'll do him again because I haven't seen his name pop up yet. So
See what Kiki
if
can
you can
do.
hear me, they are there.
44.2. He is on for a high 16. I've done this track so many times, I know what time they're going to be setting just from the sector times. Has a bit of traffic ahead of him. It might give him some dirty air coming into the final few corners. So far, most of the drivers seem to be struggling. Only 7 of them to settle up so far as the V-Carb comes back into the pits. Jezza has invalidated, but he opts to go and do it again. Maybe just saved enough ERS and has enough fuel to do one more push lap. We'll see. But only 8 people were able to set any type of time so far. Nobody Cares and the 2 Ferraris are the ones that really stick out right now. Split by only a few hundredths of a second. The grid is more split than I thought it would be compared to other tracks that we've had. I feel like harder tracks, it's been much more closer than it currently is, which I guess this is, I would say this is like a go-to track for some drivers. So if they play the game quite a bit, then obviously they're going to practice it and like time trial and that. But what's your times here on this track? Do you have any?
I haven't done time trial or anything on this track for a while. I'm not great around here though. Australia is a weak one for me on this game, definitely.
My prediction is I don't think pole for Division 2 is going to be dead last for Division 1. That's my prediction. I think whatever somebody
pole will be quicker than last of D1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like last time out in Mexico, pole would have put him like second to last, I think. But yeah. So we got Mira about to set a lap, or Shrek Tortoise. No, Shrek Totalis. You know, his name reminds me of a pickup line I used to say to people if they was big fans of Harry Potter. If you was a spell, you would remind me of Petrificus Totalis, and when they say why, I'd be like, because you make me stiff. So that was.
Did it work?
That's not the point. The point is I used it. Right, Shrek Totalis, what can he do? Comes towards the final few corners. So far, it's looking like a pretty normal lap for him. No mistakes. Don't think he's pushing as much as he can do. With the amount of drivers that have invalidated, I don't blame him. Crosses the line. It's going to be into the 117s. 17.8 puts him P9. 10th behind Vengeance Gamer. What can Mira do? 43.6 for Sector 2. That's not that bad. Where will it put him? I think it will put him into the top 3 when he crosses the line. Crosses the line now. Where? Yeah, it puts him P2 actually. A few milliseconds split between him and the Red Bull. That's a very strong lap. Almost exactly what he needed. What about Ash? Ash is on the lap. 26.6 for Sector 1. Not all that bad. Diabolical work, that pickup line. What can I say? I am the Riz Master. 43 flat for Sector 2.
I'm going to send RS another one because he's restarting his game.
Yeah,
there
he's
he
joined.
is.
There
Look
we
at
go.
that. Beautiful. So he just wasn't getting them by the looks of it.
Nobody Cares
I was definitely
improved.
sending them.
He improved by a slight margin though, so maybe It's one of those. Oh, Dougie has
Oh,
retired.
and then he
Oh,
also
he
on the
must
left.
disconnected. Yeah, he must have
Yeah, I'll
disconnected.
get him another
Actually,
invite.
with a pretty good lap, puts him P6 right in the middle of a Ferrari. Two of the Ferraris. I don't know what you would call a Ferrari sandwich.
Um,
Pepperoni flatbread? I don't know.
pizza.
Pizza, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, sort of
Nicholas
like that.
grabs
Pepperoni
pole though
flatbread.
by a whole tenth. That was unexpected and a really good lap from him. Who is next to set your time? Yeet Mick. Yeet Meat. Hope we say that name. Cross the line. P6, 16.5. Yeah, the Alpine is currently a Ferrari Panini. Lewis needs to go and set a good time. He's currently down in P15. Let's go on board with Lewis actually. No, he's just starting his lap. Who else? Go on board with Kiki. I don't know if he's on a quick lap though. He has got a bit of traffic ahead of him. Does seem to be on a fast one. We got our second retirement. Vengeance Gamer in the wall. What can Kiki
Oh,
do
there's
as he
another
crosses the
yellow as
line?
well.
Is that a Ferrari crashing into the pits? P10 goes
Yeah, I
Kiki.
think it was maybe slowing down or something. It brought the yellow. Thought it was in the wall.
26.4 for Sector 1. Lewis isn't on the pace that I thought he would be. Obviously, it's got a few more sectors to make up, but a 43.7, it's going to be good enough for the top 6. Don't know if it's going to be any more improvements from there. It's really close between the top 4, well, relative to where they are. Nicholas with an absolute screamer, getting ahead of Somebody Cares. Somebody Cares is going to have to do well to respond. Lewis now about to end his lap. Ropsy Cola is still not here. Let me actually see if he's done anything, because right, still not said anything to me, so that would be another no-show for him. What about Jezza? One of 3 drivers yet to set a time.
Ty coming to the end of a push lap, I believe. He's just about across the line, so we'll see if he improves.
Proves up
He
to a
does.
P7. See, I feel like Ty Clear is definitely... He might not be the quickest on the grid, but when it comes to time management, I think we've seen over and over again how good he can be with that. And with this track, it is a
He's like the
one-step...
PW Jones of
Yeah,
D2.
yeah. I think
That's the easiest way to
he's
explain
going to
him.
do well
Anybody that
today.
knows him. Yeah, I mean, he's very crafty with the one-stops on tracks where they're not usually the favourable option, so...
Do we think we're going to see any alternative strategies here as well today, or...?
Well, yeah, I think it's very likely for a safety car in it. I mean, it's a track with walls. Yeah, any track with walls that are close.
I mean, as we've
Are,
seen from the 2 Williams drivers, actually, so... Yeah, Chesapeake goes P5. 16
yeah,
flat.
I think starting on the softer compound might be the beneficial option, but that's just me personally.
It's quite a big gap from
Not as in
P15 to P1.
soft. I mean, like just the softer, like
Yeah.
like medium, say over the hard.
I mean, ever since the new tyre allocation for these tracks, I don't know if this track has actually got softer or like harder when it comes. Oh no, not like that, you dirty perverts. Uh, but but like if it's become quicker or slower, because I know quite a few tracks have changed their allocation of tyres,
Yeah.
which is why I'm quicker at Singapore. Or like to think I am at least. Nobody Cares has invalidated, and with 5 minutes left to go, it is looking pretty good for the V-Carb driver. Hopefully he can just maintain his consistency in qualifying in the race and try and potentially get his first win in OTLR. The KOC bloke, he's P7. Not as quick as I thought he would be. He is one of the ones to look out. Previously a Division 1 driver, now a Division 2. And see if he can make any big improvements on his time. Crosses the line. Is this going to be good enough for a P3? Has a lovely toe from the Ferrari ahead of him. Crosses the line. 16 flat. Stays right in between Lewis and Jezza. It's getting really close between P4. Well, no, P3 down to P6. Who else can we watch? Nicholas. He's improving by a tenth and a half, so he could potentially be on for a 0.5, depending on these final few corners. I know with me, all my time to find is definitely in Sector 3 to see what he can do. Nicholas about to cross the start-finish line. Where does he go for it time-wise? Does exactly a 0.5, as I was saying. Now, if nobody cares, is going to have to respond to that. Otherwise, he will be down in the gutter, which is P2. Andreas retires in the pit without setting any times. Wonder what's happened there. There weren't any qualifying bans that I had to know about this time around, right? I don't think so. I hope so.
Good question.
Or grid drops.
No,
you know what? Let
I
me
think
double
it's
check
in
actually.
D1 tomorrow,
Is it? Oh.
if I'm correct. Yeah, that we got a quali ban. Yeah, it's D1.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Body ban and a race ban. You know, typical spinning alpaca with a qualifying ban for spinning around and causing whatever that happened. Right, last few laps. Who is going to be Istanbulin crosses the line. He does a 28 flat on the dot. Probably looking to go again. You know, if we had the stat of quali head-to-head, I wonder what it would be for some of these teams. Obviously not for like Aston Martin, since it's pretty much just been nobody cares since Brime and Bremo left to go play Manchester United full time. But yeah. Hello, Andreas. What happened to you? How comes you retired from qualifying? Do we think we're going to see a last minute snatcher for P1?
I mean, Nicholas has done a strong lap there. He's 3/10 up.
Oh,
So.
it's some villain. Something's happened to him. He is retired mid-lap.
Yeah, I was on board with him. I didn't see anything. Unless he's disconnected. I've got to communicate it. No.
No. I don't know. That's a bit
I know.
weird. Trek Tortoise on a lap. He was down in Sector 1. Hopefully he won't be down in Sector 2. Yeah, and he's 2 seconds down, and he's pushing but recharging, so I don't know. I mean, I guess he's trying to set another lap. Jezza is on a lap, 10th and a half up. That would put him all the way up to P3 if he can find any more time. Imagine he can with pretty much a sector and a half to go. Yeah, almost 2 attempts up for Jezza. This is looking like a really strong lap. Goes on the grass, doesn't invalidate, but definitely has ruined his run. I imagine he lost a tenth and a bit there. So unless his second lap was absolutely stinky, I don't think he will be improving any more than he currently is. Let's have a look. Final turn now. Does he go and finish the lap? No. He goes into the pit to end his run. We have Ash currently in P11. Only slight margins is what he needs to gain if he wants to break into the top 10. We got some more retirements as Jezza is comfortable with his lap, although he's the one that went wide and went onto the grass. So he thought instead of setting a lap, I'll mow the lawn. Very nice for him. I doubt the Australians around the place would definitely like that. Don't know how they like their grass, but it's usually dusty and the desert. Right. Well, I don't know if Ash, I don't know if his favourite number is 1997, or if that's the date of year that he was born. But if so, then we have an Unk on track to see what he can do. Can the Unk put the young ones down to the bottom of the grid? Is improving in Sector 2. Sorry, I just realised how old you are, Lanky. Sorry. What can he?
I'm not that old.
Not that old. See what Ash can do. Can he improve? All he has to do is
Old
find
enough.
100th of a second. Crosses the line, improves by a tenth and a half, plus a bit more to get P10. who is going to be setting the lap first. Is that Ty Clear? Yes, it'll be Ty Clear. Not improving. Was down by a 10th in Sector 2. Is he going to improve in Sector 3? Versus the line, what's it going to be for him? Yeah, it is. Almost a 3/10 improvement. P8 for him. Alberta Tetris, P12. He improves, but not his position. The two Red Bulls, what can Lewis do? 63 milliseconds quicker. Stays exactly where he is for now. Lost out on some time. We have the KFC bloke on the lap. Where does he go? He must improve surely, right? Yeah, a 10th in a bit, puts in P3. So nobody cares, improving by a 10th in Sector 2. Would it be enough for Sector 3? Yes, it is. Jumps ahead of Nicholas by just a bit, and Nicholas has invalidated. So that is nobody cares, taking back what he thinks should rightfully be his, and due to his pace, it definitely is. So nobody cares with the advantage, gets ahead of Nicholas. Really quick times from the front two drivers. I think if these are the times for Division 2, Front 2, I'm pretty worried for tomorrow since I haven't done any practice. Surely, first time of asking, I can get like a 13.2. Yeah, that's how quick I am.
You still got a bit of time to put a little bit of practice down.
And I think that is everyone's lap set. So that is Nobody Cares on provisional pole, followed by Nicholas, the KFC bloke, and the two Red Bulls falling back just a bit. You know what I think we should do? I think we should ruin Nobody Cares championship chance and just put him in D1. Wouldn't that just be hilarious? Just be like April Fools, you know? Just be like, yeah, you're Division 1 now. Right. Let me take a picture. Wow. So two drivers failing to set a time. Ducky unfortunately disconnecting, and then Andreas, we don't really know what happened to him. Let me just remind everyone to retire quickly. Right. As actually, you know what? Let's stay on board with the lobby reset because you guys always miss out.
The Haas had the start of the Ferrari. It's carbon fiber all over the place.
Right, as all the drivers are pretty much in the wall already. Dougie, he joined back this session, so he should be able to.
Yeah.
Go. Glitch 10, if you are watching the stream, take note. This is exactly what you should be doing tomorrow. It's his third pole. I'm not sure. But you know what? He isn't quick enough for... You're all placed where they think you should be. However, you know, anything can change with more drivers coming in. I'm sure well, you've seen what next season. Next season we're going to have maybe 3 tiers. I skipped this session to avoid the chaos. That is You know, that is a pretty smart thing to do, but Australia is a really fun track in qualifying, so let's go to this one. So we just get the lobby set up. Do we think the top three is going to be the top three for the race, or do you think something might happen which might affect it?
Um, I think it would be a bit of a shuffle. This track's notorious for a bit of overtaking and shuffling. And Dirty Air is not very nice either, especially 910 with the higher speed. Um, Maybe even turn 6 as well. No, turn 7. Turn 7, the fast right-hander, George Russell corner. I usually call it that because that's where he
Yeah,
went upside down.
yeah. I always thought that was Canada. No.
Was that Canada who went upside down? It might have been Canada who went upside down. No,
Well, because
no, it
the
was
corner kind of
Australia.
looks the same between turn one
It
and
does
then whatever turn
the
that is in
a little
Canada.
bit.
Yeah,
No, I do think it was Australia.
I'm sure someone in chat will know.
Yeah, it was. Final lap
Ah,
or something. I just remember him having a brown trouser moment, as I think anyone would.
yeah.
You're upside down, knowing how quick them cars are coming around that corner. Right, collisions back on. Beautiful. Right. That be us ready.
Right.
Give them the command.
Gonna give them like a minute extra because of how slow these guys are. I said get ready. I said get ready, get your setups, and then go at 36. Right, as we get going, will it be a wet race? That's the question I want to know. Cross your fingers. What will it be? And I can already have the feeling, yeah, it's going to be dry. Of course it is. Might get them ready up earlier. Get ready when I... Let me just edit my... Yeah. Ready up, get your setups. Go when I say. Right, that's long enough. Imagine I said go at 36, so someone's like, oh, I got time to run toilet, but then I edit my message saying, oh, when I say go, and now I just said go.
Wow. It's almost 36 now, so
what
they'll be
was
cutting it
pole?
fine.
It was 15.4. Right, let's get going. 5 red lights, and then a bit of a delayed go, but away we go. So nobody cares, looking like he's had a bit of a slow start. Can Nicholas get ahead? Nope, Nicholas has fell back. What happened there? Nicholas started P8. No, wait, hold on a minute. The grid, no, Vengeance Gamer in P1.
Yeah, it's having its moment.
Oh,
It's
okay
all
then.
going, people ghosting inside each other on my end.
So nobody cares from P6 to P1, or P1 to P6. Really strong start from Nobody Cares.
He's P1 on mine.
Oh, now he is P1. Oh, Lewis has already retired. Some people have left. There is a safety car. Jezza with a 10-second penalty. There must have been a massive collision somewhere. And now the Red Bull is out of this race. Good news for Aston Martin. Bad news for Aston Martin. He doesn't have a teammate. But I think that is a virtual safety car. And in, I don't know what's wrong with VA, but Nobody Cares has already got a 1.2 second lead.
Oh, this
I don't
game.
know what happened there. I don't know if that's going to require a race restart. Let me just
Let's see what happens
have
when
a
it
look.
crosses the line. When they cross the line, if timing sorts this out. Because on my end, I've got Snowbody's 6/10 ahead on my screen.
What would you say? You're more experienced gear coordinator. Do you say that start requires a lower restart or no? I don't know what the fuck happened there.
The game's quite usually it
I've never seen a
cracks
start
itself on
like
the
that.
first lap.
Yeah.
No, I mean on my end, the timing's all how it should be. Snowbody first, Nicholas is 6/10 behind,
Mm.
KFC third at 9/10 behind, and now they're back racing.
Yeah. I say we'll leave it for now, but I don't think I've ever seen a start that scuffed in this game before. I know we've had our fair shares of ghosting for the entire lap, but I think that's a first for me. But somebody cares now in the lead. Lewis unfortunately getting the DNF. Griffin still in the race though, about to be overtaking the KFC bloke. Right. As we come towards what was the end of a very scrappy lap one DNF already. Got Nicholas and the Snowwoody is chasing it down. Broken out of DRS from the KFC bloke. He's going to be under threat from Griffin sometime soon. We've got some hard runners, which is a bit surprising to be honest. I thought there'd be even more medium runners. Yeah, we've got quite a lot of people on the hards actually. These are two McLarens aren't having a great day. Jez has already got a 10-second penalty for whatever happened with that Red Bull, and the two McLarens also fell back. They are now 17th and 18th with a gap of pretty much 20 seconds, a bit more to the drivers ahead. See what Nicholas can do on this DRS straight, the most common place to try and make a move around to the outside. Can he try and get one done as we come to a very nice camera angle? So far somebody cares doing well to fend him off. What about Griffin? Can Griffin get a move done? Goes a bit wide. It might have picked up a track limits there. The KFC bloke definitely has, as he's already got a 3-second penalty on lap 3. That's only going to build from here on to the end. So he's going to have to pick up his pace even more. Definitely not do what he's just done there, go wide coming into that turn. That would definitely affect him. We've got the Haas driver, we've got the Alpine ahead of him. Don't know if that Alpine has any damage. He did hit the Red Bull that was in front of him, so he might do. Doesn't seem to have any. Is on the hard tyres, so the Haas driver should be able to get ahead of him quite easily. So nobody cares now. Out of DRS from Nicholas, should be able to start building that gap. 1 second is the time already. Griffin and the KFC bloke going wheel to wheel in sector 1. The KFC bloke with that better line gets ahead for now. What can Griffin do to respond? He's going to have that DRS coming into sector 2. Imagine he's going to try and just sweep past him coming into the fast chicane. As he try and make a move, DRS is wide open, goes a bit wide, tries to make a move around the outside. Can Griffin, KFC bloke do anything to defend? No, he cannot. Drops down to P14 and 2 seconds is the gap from Griffin to Nicholas. So he's now going to have to do some catching up if he wants to try and stay in this this front pack. What about Shrek Tortalis? Can he try and make a move around Pipe Tech? Definitely not if he goes wide there. So after all the chaos of that first lap, we have got some moves being made, some very good fighting. Some debris just flew off one of the cars. Don't know who that's from, but the KFC bloke jumps up to P2. I think that might have been Nicholas, who picked up some front end plate damage and is now falling back down. Griffin falls down to P7, so maybe something happened between him and the V car. And now Jezza up to P3, the KFC bloke P2, and Nobody Cares is now flying ahead. 4 seconds is now the lead that he has over the drivers behind. Starting to think Nobody Cares is like the Nikita Mazepin of Division 2. Flying ahead, seems to be the dominant driver here. What about Jezza? Jezza on the hard tyres, doing well to be P3 right now. You would have thought he would have lost some places already. Definitely looks like he has the momentum to try and get some moves done. As he try and go for a dive, it does not, stays behind for now, waits for a better time. Griffin falling back down the grid, now P11, has major front wing damage, so there was definitely coming together between him and the V-Carb driver. We'll probably see later on in the stewards report who was at fault for that, but that is not a good day for his championship chances or for Red Bull at all, since one of them had already DNF'd and the other might potentially DNF as well. We got the V-Carb also into the pits. That Jezza goes P2 for now, gets ahead of the KFC bloke. So we have the V-Carb retiring from the race. So far it's been a Red Bull disaster for the sister team and the main team. The KFC bloke now with that fresher tyres, it should be able to get back ahead of Jezza. It's going to be a DRS swapping train between these two throughout the next few laps. Griffin opting to stay in the race and try and gain back what he lost from whatever happened with him and the V-Carb. At this point they're handing Nobody Cares the championship, because right now his main two contenders are out of this race. Oh wait, no, one of his contenders, Griffin, is still in the race, but currently down in P16. He's going to need a safety car if he wants to try and bounce back to the top of the pack. KFC bloke yet to be making any moves. The Haas driver of Yeet Mix doing well to get to where he is. Currently sits P4, 2 drivers ahead of them with the penalty. If this was like near the end of this race, this Haas driver would be a very happy person, as that would mean P2 for him, but we still have plenty of laps to go. Alberto Tetris making some moves on Vengeance Gamer. Vengeance Gamer goes into the grass, rejoins back in P12. RS Salguero wasn't be able to make any moves from that mistake there, as they actually almost come together. Vengeance Gamer just sliding a little bit, seems to already be struggling on these tyres. We have it coming together of Alberto Tetris and Dougie. They both spin out, but no safety car. They're lucky to keep on going. Don't know if any of them have any damage. The KFC bloke's tyres already starting to kill him. He's falling back quite a bit from Jezza. His tyre management probably isn't going as well as he hoped. I imagine the I think for a one stop, actually I think it's just about right. I think it was lap 9 is the lap to pit, then hards to the end. I know they definitely can go the distance, but we shall see what lap times these guys will be pitting. It's all it's for me it's all analytic, what's the words, analysing. I want to know what these tyres can do so that I can use it tomorrow. But what are we thinking of this first 8 laps of this race, Lanky? You think it's all over the place, or do you think we've had some pretty good battles?
Not all over the place in a bad way, like really, but there's definitely been some moments already.
I mean, what happened with the 2 Red Bulls is definitely unexpected. You would have thought it would have been a Nobody Cares and a Red Bull podium, but by the looks of the way things are going, it could be a Nobody Cares win and then a surprising podium for some of these drivers.
Yeah, I mean, Jezza at the moment is starting to close the gap a little bit on Snowbody. He was at 4.5 seconds when he broke from KFC, and that's now coming into the 3s.
Trek Tortalis should be able to get ahead of Pipe Tech here with the DRS open, and well, I did lose some time in the corner, so definitely running a low downforce setup. Isn't able to make any moves. What do we think the lap to pit is on? Well, for now, for somebody cares, it's now. Don't know if he is definitely going for the one stop or going for a two stop. It's hard to
12,
say.
13.
Hmm.
And then you're doing a like 16, well, yeah, from the medium, and then 16 hard maybe or something like that.
Maybe the strategy is to just pit when Ty Clear pits this race. Currently P6. Did drop down a bit from his teammate, who is currently P3. Maybe those hard tyres were the way to go for some of these drivers. We shall see. I think the only thing that will pretty much affect them is the safety car at this point. I think that's the gamble when starting on the hards. Is that the safety car, like a few laps into the race, is really going to affect your strategy. But so far, we've already had one virtual safety car, not enough to affect them. But as I'm saying that, yellow flags coming to turn 2 might be the Williams, but those flags go away soon after. Can Trek Totalis do anything on Pipe Tech? Doesn't seem to have the wings to try and keep up with Pipe Tech. Might have went for definitely some higher wings, but seems to be struggling to get past.
Ooh, snap out of there. Final corner. For the kick.
KFC bloke also came into the pit. I didn't even realise that. He goes on to the hards. I know the undercut is pretty strong here. So. And Bullen currently on P3. I don't know how long these are. Are they going to take these hard tyres all 20 laps? As Istanbulin's going to try and make a dive on the Haas driver. Gets it to stick and keeps it going. Gets up to P2 with what was a really clean move from him. So far it's been a good race for the Ferrari driver. Now onto the hard, so you can try and just start flying ahead. And try and just build that time. So nobody cares
Alberto.
now. Oh.
I'm just going to say Alberto struggled that lap. He's just lost 3 positions coming down to 9 and 10. The V-carb was quite far back, but managed to get through with Griffin and Mirror, so...
Still chooses to stay out on the medium tyres, even after all of that, so... Might have just been a driver mistake, not tyre wear happening, as I actually hear some banging between cars. So we go on board with Griffin, the V-carb and the McLaren all fighting for that final top position. Somebody cares. Gets ahead of Ty Clear. Somebody cares came out in a really tough position here. He's currently in traffic, and because they're not lapped, he has to just get past them and deal with it. With those fresher tyres, he should be able to get it done. It's just going to be a matter of how difficult it will be. Istanbulin comes into the pits, opts for an early stop on the hards, so maybe he's also on for the 2-stop. Lap 10 on the hards. I think that might be a bit too early, depending on obviously what strategy you're on. But if Jezza plays this correctly, I think he will pit between lap 18 to 19 and then go mediums to the end. Somebody cares, tries to go for a dive on Trek Totalis. As all Trek Totalis has a bit of a moment, collides with the Aston Martin. It's a bit of an unfortunate moment. Trek Totalis just losing his tyres. I imagine it is what's likely when you're on 11 lap onto the hards, especially if you haven't saved the tyres throughout the race. That puts him up to P4. Kiki in the V-carb trying to make some moves on Griffin. Griffin's going to have to get a move on if he wants to close up the points to him and Nobody Cares. Let's see how well he can defend off the V-carb. I'm into sector 2. Most satisfying DRS bit of this track. Doesn't seem to have the pace to make any moves on Griffin just yet. Still really close, less than 2 tenths. Cuts the corner a bit too much and goes off track, and would definitely be picking up a warning for that. Can he still try and make a move on the Red Bull? Goes for a move on the inside, rides that curb way too much, but still manages to keep P10. That puts Griffin down to P11 and is now under threat from Mira. The Haas driver has now pitted. Jezza still opting to stay out, so he's definitely committing to that one stop. High clear also into the pits for those hard tyres. He's been on the good stint for those mediums. That puts Nobody Cares back up to P2 with a 9-second gap from P1 to P2. So now, I still think it's too early for a safety car for Jezza. If there's a safety car, you would have to maybe go for the 2 stops. I don't think the mediums will go to the very end. You now see the gaps.
Yeah, he is carrying that 10-second as well, isn't he, Jezza? So he's going to have to serve that when he does stop.
Yeah, so that will... Oh, that's probably why he's extending his run, because... Yeah. So the ultimate thing that can happen for Jezza here is if he pits, serve his 10-second penalty, and then there's another safety car. If he's picked the balanced compound of tyres, he can go on mediums again and then try and get those laps back again. Ash still on the medium tyres, much more laps than I thought it would be. Griffin gets rear ahead of the V-carb. The KFC bloke jumps up to P4, provisional P2 in this race, with the closest driver behind. That is the Ferrari driver, and he is 4 seconds behind him. So Snowbody and the KFC bloke on for a really good run here. The gaps just start to build a bit between the drivers. Most drivers in a second of their own bit of time. Ty Clear now catching up to the back of Griffin and Kiki. On those hard tyres, he should be able to hopefully make some moves within the next few laps or so. There's a yellow flag. Who is that? Is that Alberta Tetris into turn 1? Yes, it is, and there's a virtual safety car. Now is the time to maybe pit for Jezza, but it's way too late. He's already passed the start-finish line. Who else will come into the pit? Pipe Tech comes into the pit lane, and I think he might be the only driver up till Mira to do so. So it might lose out to some positions, yeah. Let's see where Pipe Tech comes out.
He did look like he was struggling. I said a couple of laps ago, didn't I? He looked like he was starting to struggle.
This has actually worked out very well for Pipe Tech. He's going to come out maybe ahead of all the traffic that's just coming past. Maybe just behind Ty Clear. No, it gets ahead of Kiki. So that's good for him. He doesn't lose out that many places. On those fresh tyres, after a few laps, he should be able to jump ahead or build a gap. As actually Istanbulin gets a drive-through penalty. That is very unfortunate. He was on a very good run and could have potentially got a top 5 in this race. But now with that drive-through, is looking less and less likely. So Nobody Cares was able to actually gain some time during that virtual safety car. 6 seconds is now the gap. Griffin also was able to pit onto those mediums. I think it might be too soon again. I don't think those mediums will go to the very end, so he is on for what could be a very difficult end to this race. Ty Clear just about gets ahead of the V-carb. Currently sits in P7. He's going to be chasing down Pipe Tech and hopefully be trying to make some moves. I don't think Pipe Tech's got like 9 to 8 laps worth of tire life before it starts to fade off. Vengeance Gamer gets a 3-second penalty in P10. Good news for Mira, he should potentially be able to get some points. After what was a really good run in Mexico, it sort of just started to die down a bit as there's another yellow flag. That is Vengeance Gamer, yeah. Waits for the cars to pass before coming back on track. Does he have any damage? No, he doesn't. Just really worn out tyres, most likely. What about Ash in the Alpine? Has a penalty, but is still trying to fight for positions. Got Mira ahead of him. See what he can do. Can he make any brave moves coming to this turn? Goes for a dive. Can he make it stick? Or has a bit of contact with the McLaren driver, but nothing too dangerous, and still they keep on going. So it's P11 for now, with another opportunity to overtake coming up in 1 corner's time. High Clear finally gets ahead of Pipe Tech as well to get P3. Pipe Tech is on for a P4 as it stands, with the penalty from Istanbul, and he is going to have to serve it this lap. Ash does try and make a move on Mira on the inside. Mira does well to defend his position and stays ahead for now. The traction, the difference of those two tyres really coming into play. Mira doing as much as he can to defend from the Alpine and is doing a pretty good job. Great driving from these two drivers. Istanbul comes in to serve his drive-through penalty that allows Tyre Clear up to P5, Pipe Tech P6, and then so on for the drivers behind. Griffin grabs the fastest lap of the race. What can Ash do on this DRS straight? Doesn't try and make any moves here. Ash gets a 3-second penalty, so Mira is able to calm down just a bit now.
Yes, nobody's nearly caught back to Jezza.
16 laps Jez has done in these tyres. I think he can go for maybe 2 more. However, with this 1 stop and that 10-second penalty, all it's going to do is it's going to affect where he is on the grid or once he does pit. Yes, he will be able to catch up to the cars ahead, but it's going to be the time difference plus 10 seconds, which is going to be pretty crucial. And if we go to the gap to leader, he's going to come out. He'll still come out in the points, I think, if he does pit and serve those 10 seconds. So it's not that all bad for Jezza. Still going to pick up some points, just not the ones he would have hoped for. 1.1 seconds now is the gap. So Jezza's starting to really struggle on those hard tyres. The time Nobody Cares is gaining is pretty quick. I don't think he's going to get DRS even on this second small DRS straight. I think the detection zone for both of those DRS straights are before sector 2 starts. We shall see as he comes towards it. Yeah, it's not open, so that is going to affect him. As Alberto Tetris has been lapped by the 2 leaders. Nobody Cares now 4 attempts. Can he try and make a brave dive coming to turn 1? We've seen plenty of drivers do it this race so far. Ash tried to do it on Mira. Mira tried to do it on Griffin. Both drivers was unsuccessful on it, but it was still a good move nevertheless. As Jezza finally comes into the pits, we'll see where he comes out. I still think it will be in the top 10, but yeah. You know what I think we should just do for Division 2 from now on? I think we should always be giving Nobody Cares just a 3-second penalty. Just to make... Don't you think that'd be funny? Just for certain drivers, spin a wheel every race, whoever gets it, gets a penalty. And then for Division 1 we can rig it. Everyone gets a 20-second penalty apart from me. So as Vengeance Gamer gets another 10-second penalty, that's going to be unfortunate for him. See, I thought Australia was one of the tracks where it's going to be the closest we've seen all calendar long. But I feel like the tracks that are harder, like Mexico, Hungary, they've been much closer than what it currently is. There's nobody
Nobody's in.
Yeah, he comes in.
Yeah. So that second stop to 10 laps. I think it was probably the right option with Jezza going.
Yeah.
Even though Jezza has that 10 seconds, he's covering off the other guys as
I mean,
well, I think.
it also depends on the likes of Ty Clear and the Haas driver as well. If they can keep those tyres going to the end, I think they'll be in a really good position here. Obviously, Nobody Cares and the KFC. Actually, Nobody Cares came out P2, so
Yeah.
he could still be in for the win here. 1.5 is the gap. Ty Clear could potentially be on for a podium as the KFC drops to P8. He's gonna have quite a bit of traffic to get through if he wants to go and bounce back to where he was. I think the drivers ahead of him will be pitting again though, so it won't be as bad. But 9 laps left. I think we could see another Ty Clear podium. Yeet Mix as well. I don't think he'll be on for the win, but it's going to be very close for the final podium spots, depending on how well the KFC bloke catches back up to the rest of the pack. Let's see how much the Haas driver fights. Nobody Cares. If he does fight him, it would help Ty Clear to catch up, but it would also affect his run. With how close he is now, I imagine he'll be taking a move pretty quickly, actually.
Yeah, he's caught up pretty quick.
4 attempts. I think he'll get it done before the corner. They come side by side. It goes in for a move on the inside. Yeah, gets ahead right before the corner. You know, with these past 2 races in the actual like F1 season, right? If it's anything like that in the game, I think it'll be more interesting towards like fighting each other in for positions. I mean, obviously we won't have the we fortunately won't have like the performance advantage, but still, I think that'll
Yeah,
make
on
it
equal
close.
it would be alright.
Yeah.
Realistic would be a bit ugh at the minute, but I think I've just seen Yeatmax go to the wall. He definitely struggled out of that
Yeah,
corner. He seems alright.
yeah, I was gonna say, does he have any wing damage?
No,
Maybe it
his
was
wing
just the
looks to be
camera angle.
okay.
I don't know what happened there, but I thought that as well. To be
He's done
fair,
well to keep out the wall if he did, because he went over there pretty quick.
yeah. If the F2 cars in this game are a bit more fun to drive, I think that F2 like would make a such more better division than the regular F1 cars. I don't know about you, but yeah. It just feels really weird to drive on this game, the F2 cars. Maybe I just haven't done it
Yeah, I
enough,
haven't done
but
too much with the F2s.
would be nice to see like a small community race in the F2 cars actually, because don't they have 22 cars on the grid? Or is it still 20? I think it's 22.
No idea.
This race has gone pretty quickly actually. I mean, I guess that's because we haven't had that many safety cars. But can you turn on tyres briefly? Why do you want to know what the tyres are like, huh? Is nobody trying the one stop from lap 9? No, he's recently pitted. So he pitted on lap 9 and pitted on lap 19. So 10 laps on each tyres is what he's been doing so far. I mean, obviously Division 2, I don't think it would matter that much. I thought the one stop is definitely going to be possible, and it is going to be for some of these drivers. The KSC bloke is only up 1 position from the last time I saw him on the field. He's now got ahead of Griffin, chasing down Jezza. Oh, Jezza's still got a penalty. Sure, he served it though, surely, right? Only a 3-second. Okay. Yeah, it is. And I think some of these drivers have done that. Jezza is I'm surprised he's P5, to be honest. I thought with that 10-second penalty, it definitely would have cost him. But extending those hard tires it's done him well, and I think he could probably gain even more positions than he currently is sitting on. What am I doing? 3 seconds is the gap from him to Pipe Tech, but he's got a 3-second penalty, so it wouldn't matter that much anyway. Lap 23, and it's looking like it's going to be a pretty good day for Pipe Tech. P4 currently. If he can stay in that position, that will help him massively.
They are edging closer to Yeet Max as well, so
How many
going to be a
points is
little
Pipe
battle
Tech
between
on?
these guys soon.
I need to double check actually. Division 2. Pipe Tech is still yet to score, so if he can stay where he is right now, he will jump up quite a few positions in the driver's standing. So fingers crossed, let's hope he can potentially get P3. I think the tyre difference, tyre clear has got the advantage, but yeah, 9 laps on those medium tyres. It's definitely still got some life left in them, but with those hard tyres that tyre clear is on, I think he might be able to just manage that gap. So, but P4, I believe that is 12 points for the Mercedes. That will still jump him up from what he's currently sat on, which is 0 points. That'd be good points for Mercedes overall. Alberto Tetris obviously not having as good as a race as his teammate. Yeah, this is actually very good for Mercedes. They have 0 points altogether. The only team to be sitting on that. So let's hope he can score some points. I believe not that long left to go. All he needs to do is just keep it consistent, and then he will be able to stay where he is. Istanbulin, the second of Ferrari, currently down in P10, blocking off the final points positions. He's going to have to find some time if he wants to jump ahead of Ash after the race with all those penalties. He is currently sat in P9, 6.2 seconds is the car behind. So far, the KFC bloke is the only driver yet to be making some moves. He needs to get a move on if he wants to try and claim a podium. 4 laps left, and with that 3-second penalty, he's going to have to overtake and then gain an even bigger advantage if he wants to try and claim a podium. So far, I don't think it will be on the tables for him, but we shall see. Anything is possible. I think from this lap onwards, or lap afterwards, there won't be any safety car, so he's really going to have to get a move on. Nobody cares pitted at the same time as him, but he had the advantage of not coming into traffic, so we'll see. Not that many drivers did that 2 stops then. They all managed to go for the 1 stop as the KFC bloke gets ahead of Jezza, chasing down Pipe Tech. Pipe Tech is 2.3 behind Ty Clear. Without DRS, he should be able to get past. But Jezza comes back at the KFC bloke, has the inside line, tries to make it stick. The KFC bloke is sandwiched in. The Alpine backs down, does it so safely. That's good racing from these drivers up ahead. Pipe Tech is going to be either in a lot of trouble, or is going to let the 2 drivers fight behind and trying to gain some time. However, all of this fighting is allowing those front 3 to build a bigger advantage. As speaking of, Ty Clear is now within 3 tenths of Yeet Mix, so we could yet see a P2 from Ty Clear. Yeet Mix is going to have to do everything he can for these final 3 laps if he wants to try and claim his first podium of the season. I mean, to be fair, Jez is still up there. He's only got a 3-second penalty now, so it's still on for it as Ty Clear gets past Yeet Mix, almost collides with the wall, but manages to keep it going. 12 seconds is the advantage nobody cares has. He has done a Lance Stroll this race, and he is in no man's land. Yeet Mix puncture? I don't think so. It's only 13 laps on the hards. I don't see why he would just yet, unless he spun somewhere, but so far it's looking like it's definitely going to be a P3 for Yeet Mix, potentially P2. It's going to be a very close fight for these drivers towards the back. Vengeance Game with a 19-second penalty, Ash with a 9, so he won't actually be finishing in the points, I think. No, he will be, but it'll be a close call. Pipe Tech needs to stay with those. Pipe Tech could be on back for a P4. It did drop down quite a bit, but if he's able to stay with the KFC bloke and Jezza, he'll be able to jump up to P3 as both of those drivers have penalties. All he needs to do is stay within 3 seconds. 1.4 is the gap from him to KFC bloke.
Yeah, it's going to be close with this little bunch and over the next couple of laps. Heatmix still holding on to Ty.
The KFC bloke just losing out on DRS. Pipe Tech falling back quite a bit now. 2 seconds is the gap. P6 still picking up points for Mercedes if he stays where he is. Still anything can happen. Any more drivers can still get penalties and he could jump back up. Jezza and the KFC bloke still fighting. That is going to allow him to stay maybe a bit close. Tyclear and Yeetmix within 3 tenths of each other. Can Yeetmix try and make a move on Tyclear coming into the main straight and what is going to be the very last lap of this race? Can Tyclear claim that podium position and get P2 for Ferrari? So far the Haas driver not making any moves coming into turn 1. Still, no, it's not the last lap, sorry, it's the second to last lap. But it's because, yeah, never mind. So he's still got another chance to make it if he doesn't this lap. We have some lockups from the drivers behind. The KFC bloke almost locking up. He's definitely going to lose some positions. Oh no, actually I'm on board with the Haas. The Haas driver about to lose a position to the KFC bloke. This allows Tyclear to get ahead by almost a second. If the Haas driver doesn't have DRS coming to sector 2, it's going to be his podium chance over. Actually no, it's not. With that 3-second penalty, should still be able to keep it if he can stay with it. But so far, still side by side. What can the Haas driver do to keep the position of P3? Nothing by the looks of it. Drops down to P4, and that's the KFC bloke up to P3. And now, all he has to do is gain 3 seconds if he wants to stay in that podium position. 6 tenths behind Tyclear. If you're Tyclear here, do you just let the KFC bloke pass and then just try and stay within those 3 seconds? Or do you defend him off to try and get P2 on track? We'll see as he comes towards the final lap of this race.
They're racers. You want it on track as well, don't you? Bragging rights.
Can Jezza try and make any moves on the Haas? So far, I've noticed that the drivers don't really like making moves into turn 1. It's usually that second sector where the majority of the overtakes will happen, which is reasonable. But I thought people would have gone for dives. Is the Alpine going to go for a dive? Nope, he backs out. Says P5 for now. But yeah, KFC bloke's gonna have to make some moves. We've got Jezza side by side. Oh my god! He's in the wall! He's in the wall! That is
That was
unfortunate.
just a hard racing and 2 into 1 don't go kind of moment.
And that allows Pipe Tech to get up to P5 Griffin to get some crucial points on Nobody Cares. But that is going to be devastating for Jezza. From what was I think what was going to be the comeback of probably this season, has now turned into an absolute disaster, and he might have to stick with what is potentially a P8. It's definitely going to be a P8 here, and that's going to be very unfortunate for him as Somebody Cares crosses the line to get P1. The KFC bloke's going to finish P2, but he's going to drop down to P3 unless he picked up so many more points. Jezza still stopped on track, so he's going to be losing even more points. Tyclear gets a P3, P2 position to KFC, P3. What about Yeetmix? Yeetmix loses out by just a second. Pipe Tech to get the first points for Mercedes, finishes P5. Jezza retires on the main straight. Unfortunately not going to be picking up any points. Almost picked up some points, which would have been pretty good, but just fails to do so. That allows Ash and the V-Carb driver to pick up the very last points of this race. Good news for Jezza though, he won't be finishing dead last. That goes to Andreas and Alberta Tetris, who sit P17 and P16 and have been lapped. That is a really unlucky ending for Jezza, which was hard racing, which, these things can happen. Hopefully he can bounce back next week. Had a really strong race from that 10-second penalty. And then, yeah, I mean, Istanbulin as well, having a really good race with that drive-through, still managing to finish in the points, but Ty Clear picks up his second podium of the season. And I think this might be the KFC bloke's first or second podium, actually. I'm not quite sure. And that's it for the round 5 of OTLR Division 2. Who was the driver of the day? Ty Clear got driver of the day. Drake Totalis gets the most overtakes. Andreas with the quickest lap. So nobody cares or winning the race. As we come towards the end screen now, my voice is dead, so I don't think I'm going to do any interviews.
Yeah, mine's
Right.
not too great. I'm not well at the minute.
Right, well, that's it for this round. Thank you, Lanky, for being here. It's going to be Silverstone next time out. What are you thinking of that one? Do you think there's a chance for a wet race, or do you think it's going to stay?
Yeah, definitely. It's the UK.
I mean, so far,
But
every race has been dry,
yeah,
so
they've been
obviously,
quite lucky.
yeah. I think this is the longest it's been without raining. I know in season 4 it didn't rain till after Miami, which was round 6. So yeah, from next time out it would be the longest. Well, from since I've joined anyway, it would be the longest period without a wet race. Obviously, Division 1 tomorrow is going to be a different story. I don't think it's rained there yet, but we shall see. But we will see you guys next week, and then the week after that will be a break week, so we will have some nice rest. I think some of the drivers will need it, especially now that there's a delayed start. But yeah, I'll see you guys then. For now, peace.